In the absence of water, the Atlanteans are extremely weak. However, the moment he came into contact with water, his injuries healed immediately. Let's talk about another important detail here. Hello everyone, today I brought to you a frame-by-frame analysis of the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom trailer. At first glance, the trailer is a bit hard to get. I have watched it several times in order not to miss out on any important details. By doing that, I actually found some significant details and 3 extremely important Easter eggs. Detail number 1, the most important detail in this trailer is the scene where Arthur's home, aka the lighthouse, is destroyed by the villain David. If we look closely, we can actually spot many details from this picture, and one of them would even be regarded as a critical spoiler, so spoiler alert. But to understand this detail, let's take a look at what happened in the beginning. The plot of the movie takes place 4 years after the story of the Aquaman. At this time, his wife Mira has already given birth to a son for him. The birth of the son not only strengthens the status of the Arthur as a king, but also his son directly became the first heir of the king of Atlantis. However, this is probably also the most terrifying thing. The pirate who last time failed to defeat Aquaman made a comeback again. Also, many new weapons and new warships appeared with him. This time, David's goal is no longer just the Aquaman, but the entire family, or rather, he is coming to end the bloodline of the royals of Atlantis.
I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds.
Therefore, in this picture, we see that Aquaman's home was burned down, and the lighthouse that originally stood up was also torn down and destroyed. Here, he looked panicked and horrified, indicating that there must be something important in the house that has not been taken out, or that there are relatives in the house whose life and death are uncertain. First of all, there are 5 people in the picture: the Aquaman, Mera, and the Queen. The identity of the person who was rushing out of the house and the person running behind was unknown. One of them should be the father of the Aquaman, perhaps the one who staggered out of the house, while the other, my first reaction, was Vulko, who taught the Aquaman. But unfortunately, just a few days ago, director James Wan personally confirmed that Willem Dafoe, who played Vulko, would not appear in this movie, so this last person is really hard to say. Who do you think it might be? So the question is, what happened here? Why is Aquaman so freaked out? I think what happened here must be related to the son of Arthur. At this time, it had been taken away by David and used as bait to lure out them one by one. It is very likely that the Queen also was trapped at some stage, which explains why Arthur would ask his younger brother who had tried to kill him for help. Now, let's go back to the beginning of the trailer. Detail number 2. At the start of the film, we see Aquaman's entire family enjoying life together. Arthur and his father, Tom, were having a picnic in front of their house and gestured to his wife and Queen Atlana for a Maori war dance. Detail number 3. Here, Mera tilted her head slightly, indicating that she was holding her son in her arms. Then we saw that the next morning, Arthur reluctantly took off the king's suit. As for this legendary suit, we can also see that its wristband is directly connected to the top. Although it looks difficult to wear, it is actually equivalent to a thicker sleeve. Arthur said that being a king was to do a job, because he really didn't like the feeling of being bound, and he was a last resort to become the king of Atlantis last time. However, this happiness did not last long. The villain in Aquaman 1, Pirate David, came to take revenge. Here we also see the scene of the destruction of the lighthouse that we had just seen at the beginning, and Atlantis seemed to be attacked by the outside world at the same time. It is unclear exactly when David's revenge plan took place, or is carried out on both sides at the same time, but this kind of diversion strategy can indeed successfully take away the son of Aquaman. Detail number 4. At the same time, we can also see from another perspective. In this picture, the lighthouse has not completely collapsed, and David is holding a weird trident in his hand. There are 2 people lying on the ground, one of whom is Queen Atlana, and the other seems to be Mera. Detail number 5. At this time, Arthur is stepped by David under his feet. It is not yet certain whether this scene is the real plot. Maybe it is just an imagination of David. Obviously, David has won the first wave. Both the hostages were taken and Atlantis was destroyed. At this moment, Arthur seems to have lost his trident, and for some reason, he's seeking the exiled younger brother Orm for help. Detail number 6. Here, it seems that he used some special method to project himself into this area. However, it is also possible that this suit has the function of invisibility, allowing him to blend in with the surrounding things without being discovered. This suit later seemed to be worn by Orm. Detail number 7. After the final battle in the previous movie, Orm seems to have been banished to a desert-like place. In the absence of water, the Atlanteans are extremely weak. This setting is somewhat similar to the Talakans in Black Panther 2, so we can see that the scrawny Orm is extremely weak and fragile. The injuries all over his body indicate that he is often flogged. However, the moment he came into contact with water, his injuries healed immediately, and 6 abdominal muscles appeared out of nowhere. So here's a digression. The actor Patrick Wilson, who plays Orm, is currently 50 years old. It's amazing to be able to maintain such a figure at his age. Let's talk about another important detail here. The group of people who are fighting against Arthur and Orm is the same group who fought against Atlan, the first king of Atlantis. At that time, this group of people had the spooky green all over them. This green color source is most likely from this dark trident. It's probably a curse that accompanied the birth of the trident of Atlan. In this instance, anyone who holds the Dark Tridents must complete the mission of defeating the Trident of Atlan, etc. The last time this Dark Trident appeared, it was cut in half by King Atlan, and at the same time, the man holding the Dark Trident's left hand was also cut off. This may also be a hint that those who have been cursed will never be able to give up the Dark Trident unless their palm is cut off. One interesting detail is this hand-off guy was also banished to the desert for God knows how long. However, the most terrifying thing about this Dark Trident is that it can be used even if it is broken, and it even becomes more powerful than before. Because we have seen that the trident in David's hand can not only be reconnected intermittently, but also folded. Arthur's new mount is like a translucent blue sea dragon horse, but there is something I don't understand. Why is this sea dragon horse clinging to an octopus? And the next scene where this mechanical octopus's long arm grabbed Orm. We have also seen it in the ancient wars. As for who drove it or whether it has any other functions, we still don't know. In another scene in the trailer, we also saw this kind of mechanical octopus, and we already know that there is more than one kind of this machinery. The person who is climbing here is Queen Atlana. But at this time, she is obviously possessed by that green magic from Dark Trident. We can see that she is attacking in the same direction as these mechanical octopuses. The underwater city that appears in the trailer seems to have a sense of déjà vu, because it has too much resemblance, like it was built by humans, and we can even see the roof, tables, and chairs. What's even more surprising is that there are a few people sitting at the table talking. Also, there is a boat on the right, and 2 humans are standing on the bow. So where exactly is this? We don't have any clue at all, but I take a guess that it may be the home that the Atlanteans rebuilt on the bottom of the sea after the destruction of Atlantis. When Arthur and Orm came to the hidden sea in the center of the earth, they found that there was a passage here which led to the Lost Kingdom. And the creatures that appeared in this Lost Kingdom, we have not seen in Aquaman 1. There is actually that kind of same green from the Dark Trident that appeared in the back. Okay, this is all the details I'm bringing you today. Thank you so much for watching. See you in our next video. Take care.